If you've watched Indiana's incredible, unexpected run this year, I'm sure you've heard this stat.
Entering this season, Indiana University had more defeats than any other major college football program in America.
Indiana is the second losingest team in FBS football history.
Just this year, they got out of the cellar for the losingest team in the history of the sport.
It's true, Indiana has compiled seasons and even decades full of losses. But unless you're a diehard fan, you really don't know how bad it's been or just how long it's been bad. So today, we take you on a journey to show you this, the incredibly, utterly depressing history, then stunning turnaround of Indiana football. You probably saw Indiana's win over Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, the Hoosiers' first victory over the Buckeyes in 37 years. But let's start with another OSU game. October 10th, 1987. Indiana stormed into Columbus and upset Ohio State. It ended another drought, 36 years since IU had last beaten Ohio State. But instead of congratulating IU on its win, the Buckeyes head coach Earl Bruce was totally embarrassed. He said, quote, "This is the darkest day in Ohio State football since I've been associated with it." Apparently his bosses agreed with him. 2 months later, OSU fired him. You see, growing up a Hoosiers fan, we're used to these stories, or stories about droughts, winless seasons, losing seasons. When IU beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl in 2026, it wasn't just IU's first Rose Bowl win, but it was the first Hoosier Bowl victory since George Bush was president. No, not that George Bush. This one. 35 years since the Hoosiers beat Baylor in the Copper Bowl. That was the longest streak of any Power 4 conference team. In fact, IU only has 2 other bowl wins in its history: the 1988 Liberty Bowl against South Carolina and the 1979 Holiday Bowl victory over BYU. Sadly, these stats are not new. History for the Hoosiers is filled with losses, tons of losses. IU has played 139 seasons, and 38 of them have ended with a winning record, while 101 seasons have ended with a record at or below 500. In fact, nearly every decade over the last 100 years has seen a streak of 10 seasons or more where IU has failed to post a winning record. You start in the 1920s, and you go all the way up to 2018. Perhaps we should have known this was going to happen a long time ago. IU football kicked off in 1877 with a 10-8 loss to Franklin College. The Indianapolis Journal was very blunt, simply saying their team play was wretched. Ouch. Indiana has been part of the Big Ten for 126 seasons, and during that time, the Hoosiers have won the league title just 3 times, including this past season, 2025. But over that same period, IU has finished in last place an incredible 39 times. In fact, take it a step further and look at the leaderboard for Big Ten titles. At the top, you've got the usual suspects. Michigan's got 45 titles. Ohio State has 39. But scroll a little bit further. Let's go to page number 2, and you see Indiana is still way behind the pack. 5 fewer than Purdue, 5 fewer than Northwestern, 1 fewer than Penn State. Put this in perspective, Penn State joined the Big Ten 90 years after Indiana. In fact, the Hoosiers have even fewer championships than the University of Chicago. And I know what you're saying, hang on 1 minute, I don't remember Chicago being part of the Big Ten. And your memory serves you correctly. Chicago is not currently. It left the conference in 1939. 85 years ago, 2 years before the United States joined World War II. So after that, you might be saying, how on earth is Indiana one of the favorites for the national title? Unbeaten this season, number 1 in the nation, Big Ten champions, Rose Bowl champions, the Heisman Trophy winner plays for them. 2 years ago, this was unthinkable to myself or anybody else, but now we are all saying the same thing.
Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go!